All right, good afternoon. It is Thursday, the 13th of February, 2025, out here in the greenhouse. And greetings from South Georgia, USA. Greetings to the entire world. I'm going to show you a little thing that I learned about this Chinese moisture meter. Now, I don't know, they might not have a moisture meter made in the United States, but basically this is what they sell on the Walmart website, about a $12 item. And I've been noticing some inconsistencies in checking my moisture of my different plants. And it appeared to me that some of them that were drier were reading higher moisture than some of them. And believe it or not, some of the tests that I made on some of the grow bags or pots that were potted up were reading way over here in the wet. And guess what? If you stick it in water, it doesn't go that far. I'll say it again. If you stick it in water, it doesn't go all the way to the wet. But if you stick it in certain pots that are potted, it will go into the wet. So this is the reason. I figured it out. So what I'm saying is beware. I think this is a tool that can be used, but you have to be consistent. Let's put it this way. Horticulturalists have grown plants for thousands of years without a moisture meter. So there may be other things that you can do to check the moisture. However, I did want one. I never have had one, but I'll show you what I'm meaning. This is ProMix right here, and I've put water in it, and it is, you know, they say to make a ball with it and see if it sticks together and see if any water comes out. Well, no water's coming out of this, but it is more. I put 2 quarts of water in it, but it will make a ball. But the ball is very loose. It will not, I'm squeezing it as hard as I can. It will make a ball, but the ball breaks very easy, okay? Now, I want to show you something about this moisture meter. All right, I'm going to get a pile of it here. Okay, I'm going to test the moisture of that pile. Stick it all the way in. All right, it's going to 2 notches into the green. I can't see what number it is from here. Let me get my glasses and I'll tell you. Okay, it's going into, it's up to 4. Okay, it's at 4. Now watch this. I'm going to take this now, this pile, this same pile, and I'm going to press it tighter, as if you were pressing it kind of tight in a pot. Now look at it. It's all the way over to 8 wet, but it's not, there's no difference in it. So the more tightly compacted your growing media is, the higher it will read on the moisture meter. Let's just do a plant back here that I've got. This is an olive tree. Let's just see what it says. Okay. This says halfway. Let's see what it is. It's on 4. I just can't see good enough to see. Okay, it was on, all right, the green moist is 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, about 5, okay? On moisture. This one here says dry. See here? Is it dry because it's dry, or is it dry because it's not packed as tight? And since I didn't know that when I did these, I couldn't tell you. It does appear to be dry, and this one does appear to be wet. Now the tool is useful, but what I'm saying is that you can't just go completely by the meter, because it can be affected by how tightly packed the growing media is. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Beware of the moisture meter. Okay, now how can we check about our plants? Well, one of the best ways that I ever found was to just feel it. The old hands. This one right here was in there in the duck pen, and it got a lot of duck feathers in it. But let's see this. This, I can feel it's wet. This is wet. And it's damp. And I can take it and make it into a loose ball. I cannot squeeze water out of it, but I can feel that it's wet. Now this one over here, not only is this darker, indicating that it's damp, but this one here is not as dark, and it is definitely not, you see there? It does not form any kind of a ball. Now I can dig down a little bit. I'm actually exposing some of the roots down here. Now olive trees are known, this is an olive tree by the way, olive trees are known for their ability to do good in dry climates, Mediterranean type climates. The leaves on this tree here, beautiful. There's no wilting. Now that's the wrong tag. That is not a dwarf everbearing mulberry. This pot is dry to the touch. And when I put it in the moisture meter, it is all the way to dry that you can possibly get. All the way into the red, this one. And my examination of it with my hands confirms to me that this is a dry pot. But you see, the tree is not suffering. The leaves are beautiful. They're the same. So, does this one need moisture? It's getting there. It's getting to where it might need some moisture. Let's get another one here and try it, okay? Here, let's get another. All right, what we're gonna do is, let me get over here in another spot, and let's try a couple more of these trees and try to understand how to determine if and when your plants need moisture. Okay, all right, here's another olive. Now I'm looking at this olive right here, and I can see it is similar to the other dry one. It is dry on top. It is dry on top. This is a dwarf everbearing. Now, it's dry, but right under the surface, just under the surface, I see darker soil. So it's got moisture right there. Now and the leaves are fine. Let's see what the meter says. The moisture meter on this one reads 3.5. 3.5 is on the, now it's on 3. And this moisture meter, by the way, it registers more when you first put it in, and then it slowly backs off. Not much. If it said 3.5, now it's backed off to 3. 1, 2, 3 are dry, according to this little meter here. This is 3. This is on the edge. This is almost moist. And my examination of the plant confirms that. Just under the dry surface, it is moist. So this plant I can see it's moist a little bit. Now let's get another one here. Here is, well, I keep on running into the dwarf everbearing mulberry tags. Let's go ahead and drag this dwarf everbearing mulberry out. I have started a whole bunch of plants from this dwarf everbearing mulberry. And I skinned it all the way back, and I'd say 2 months ago. And it has grown back all the I can start new plants from it. This is an amazing plant. All right, a cursory examination is that this plant, and I got it from these guys right here. I do recommend them, but it's very expensive to buy it and then have it shipped. They are in Florida. So the plant, they may get $30 or $40 for the plant, but then it'll cost at least that much more to ship it to you, depending on where you are. Okay, a cursory examination of this plant. When I go and pull the top layer back, it is somewhat damp under there, just a little bit damp. I see some roots of the mulberry near the top there. See here? There's some roots there. The mulberry plant has put roots out up there. Not much. Okay, now, what would I guess? I would guess it will be I'm guessing on the edge or between dry and moist, which is 3 or 4. Let's see what that's just my guess. Let's see what it says here. Okay, that plant says wet. It has gone all the way to the blue, which is wet. It's on 8. Let's do it in another spot. Go all the way to 8. Boy, there's a lot of roots in here because I keep sticking them. Not going to hurt this plant, though. All right, now I've stuck it in a different place. Oh, another thing, it depends on how deep you go in the pot, too. That's another thing you have to be aware of. It is, now this one in this different spot here says it's moist, and it's between 5 and 6. It's halfway, it's straight up and down. Okay, so this one actually read different in a different place. Let's go, let me move this over and let's look on this side here and see. What does it say? It went down easily, and this one says 4, which is the first notch into moist. So we're getting different readings in different parts of this pot. But there is no indication that this plant is suffering from lack of water to me. Look at how nice the leaves are. We've actually got mulberry fruit. Look at that on here. That's mulberry fruit right there forming. See the little fuzzies right there? Now, I would not be afraid to go ahead and take this limb and this limb right here, and maybe this one right here, and start me some new plants right there. I might do that. And I have all of this to go by. These things grow back. That is one of the most vigorous plants that I have ever seen. Okay, so now let's just do this. We'll do this. This is a Valdosta mulberry here. Let's check it out and see what it's doing. Now these pots is not what the Just Fruits and Exotics did not send them in these pots. These are about 4-gallon pots. They send them in the tree pots, those long skinny ones. What would you say? This one here is moist on top. I can see this is moist here. It doesn't even have any dry on the top, okay? And I have taken cuttings from it recently. You see there? I cut it right there. It had a big long top on it. I cut it right there. And look, it's already come back out with new growth. And here's a new bud over here too. Look at that. Here's one coming down here. And here's one over here. That's how amazingly vigorous these plants are. Here's one of the roots coming out. Not only do the roots grow down on mulberries, but they also grow near the top. This one right here is damp to the sight and the touch. But you can't go by that because I don't know how tight the medium is packed. Because when I did it, I was not aware that it would be good to try to pack your media consistently. Have some kind of a system where you can have it the same or nearly the same, and then if you need to use your moisture meter, that's an onion that I stuck a Tokyo bunching onion in there. And this is a piece of grass that's come up in here. We'll get that out. No, that's those onions again. Okay, I planted onions in there. Look at that. Here's the little onion plants I stuck in there just as an experiment. Okay, so I should expect this to be on the wetter side, but it depends on how tight I packed. Not only how tight I packed it, but what I packed it with. Was it the pure Pro Mix? Was it Pro Mix mixed with vermiculite? Was it mixed half and half with a Miracle Grow type, a less expensive item? What is it that you did? Okay, here we go. We're going to see. Lots of roots. I'm running into them right away. Okay. This right here is on 3, which is the last notch in dry. Even though this is wet to the vision, it's wet looking. It's damp, let's put it that way. Now, how come it's reading in the dry range? Well, I'll give you 3 guesses. And the first guess is this one is not packed very tight. When I did this one, I probably did it with the pure Pro Mix, which is a very light potting medium. And I'm guessing that I didn't pack it down tight. Let's stick it down in here and see. Get in there. Boy, there's something. Same thing. It's on 3, which is the top range of dry. This one over here, I stuck it a little deeper, and it is a few notches above dry. Well, that makes sense because your water goes down. The driest part's going to be the upper part. The wettest part's going to be the bottom of the pot. Okay, here we go, just sticking it a few inches. And it is on even drier, number 2. It's on 2. Now that's moist over there. Why is that? This plant is not too wet. I got readings all the way from the middle of dry all the way to the middle of moist in the same pot. So what good is the moisture meter? I think it has its place. Am I going to wet this? No way I'm going to wet this. This is moisture. I can feel. Now, how about this moisture meter right here? I'm sticking my finger down in there and I can feel that that's moist. That is not a desert down there. It's moist and cool. All right. Just one more I'll stick back here and see. This is a fig tree. Let's see what it says. On the edge of dry and moist. The moisture meter will vary depending on which part of the pot you stick it into. Deeper is going to be wetter. It will vary on how tight you pack your media. Medium? What is it? Media or medium?
Medium.
Your medium. Yes, growing medium. It depends, it's on the bag. It depends on how tight you pack your growing medium. It also depends on what kind of growing medium you use. Like, for example, this ProMix B1, which is the expensive stuff, you can't pack it very tight because it's a fluffy type material. All right, that's going to be my little tutorial on the moisture meter. Look at your plants closely. Feel the soil. Look at it. Look at the leaves. If your leaves start to wilt, well, you know it's too dry because the leaves wilt when the roots cannot get enough moisture and they go back. They'll actually fall off if it gets too dry. The leaves will fall off and the stems will stay alive, and if it gets drier and drier, the stems will die out from the top back down, and maybe the last part to die will be this back here, down here. If you've got good leaves, and it also depends on the plant. Know your plant. Okay, I hope that's been helpful to show you a few things about taking care of your plants. I do think that this is, this ProMix BX, I do think that that's a really good. Now, I used to mix my own, you know, buy the peat moss separately, buy the perlite and mix it together. But I have found a local supplier here, an ag supply company, that was able to buy this stuff and have it brought in on their regular shipment, and you don't have to pay the shipping on it. Anyway, I'm finding it for about $57 a bale now. Whereas buying it from the Greenhouse Mega Store with shipping from, I guess they're in Ohio, ended up costing me just about double that. So I was really pleased to get this bale of ProMix BX cut in half. And it's a heavy bale. It's 60 pounds. 60 pounds of it. And it's packed pretty tight. All right, that's the end of it right there. Hope you're having fun in your growing, in your gardening. And I hope you might even be getting some food from it, or some food for your animals, or at least some food for your eyes to look at the beauty. God's beauty and God's beautiful creation. All right. I think it would be nice if we said the Lord's Prayer here at the end of this video, and in remembrance of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave us this prayer. Would you say it with us? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.